Hey everyone, Brian Hudson here. Welcome back to Pathfinders, a hiking podcast with Brian. Today we're tackling how to eat for hiking-driven weight loss without losing energy, mood, or safety. I'm thrilled to be joined by my good friend, Jeff Adams. Jeff, welcome to the show. We'll break down a practical deficit, what to eat before and during hikes, hydration with electrolytes, smart recovery, off-trail habits, and one easy strategy to prevent overeating on the trail. Let's jump in.
Hey Brian, it's great to be on your show again. Here's the big picture. Weight loss while hiking works best with a moderate deficit, about 250 to 500 calories per day. So you lose roughly 0.5 to 1 pound per week without sabotaging performance. Safety and consistency over time beat crash diets anytime. Start by estimating your total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE, using a calculator that accounts for age, size, and activity. Then flex your intake. Eat a bit more on big mileage or steep elevation days, and a bit less on rest or mobility days. And remember, fuel the work. Long or intense hikes are not the time to starve. That's when strategic carbs are really important.
That framing, Jeff, is great. To make it concrete, if your TDEE is 2,400 calories, a normal day might land around 2,000 to 2,150. But if you're putting in a 6-hour climb that adds 2,500 calories of expenditure, you'd eat more that day, maybe 2,800 to 3,000. So the deficit averages out across the week without crushing your legs. Then pull calories back slightly on the rest day. Let's build on that with macros. What targets help protect muscle, stabilize appetite, and keep legs snappy on the trail, especially when we're trimming our intake?
Start with protein at 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight daily to preserve lean mass and curb hunger. Take carbs and scale to your training. 3 to 6 grams per kilogram on hike or workout days, toward the higher end for long climbs or back-to-back days. Fats round out the plan at roughly 20 to 30% of total calories. Example: a 75-kilogram hiker might aim for 130 to 160 grams of protein, 225 to 375 grams of carbs on training days, and the rest from fats. On rest days, drop carbs first, keep protein steady, and monitor your energy.
Love it. Let's move to pre-hike fuel, Jeff, because arriving at the trailhead underfueled is the fastest way to feel heavy legs and brain fog. Think low fiber, lower fat, carb forward with a hit of protein. 90 minutes before I start, I like a bagel with honey plus a Greek yogurt, or rice with scrambled eggs and fruit. Sip about 500 milliliters of water during that window, and save the fiber bombs and high-fat foods for after. If you're tight on time, a banana, a whey shake, and a fig bar 30 minutes out beats skipping fuel altogether.
The template I like to follow, Brian, is 1 to 2 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight, plus 20 to 30 grams of protein, eaten 1 to 3 hours pre-hike. Keep fiber and fat on the lower side so digestion is smooth once you're moving. Hydration-wise, aim for roughly 500 milliliters in that hour before the start. Then small sips at the trailhead. If caffeine works for you, a modest coffee or tea can help perceived effort without overdoing diuresis. The goal is to arrive topped off but light, not stuffed, so you can lean on steady carbs during the first hour.
That's great, Jeff. Now let's map fueling by hike length. Anything under 90 minutes at conversational pace is usually water only. Past 2 hours or with repeated climbs, carbs make the difference in a great hiking session and cramping. I think in hourly blocks, then backfill sodium based on sweat rate and weather. Walk us through rules for short, medium, and long days, and how much sodium and fluid to pair with those carbs so we aren't dragging by the last switchbacks. And note when electrolytes move from optional to essential.
That's a great question, Brian. A simple breakdown. For a hike under 90 minutes, carry water and enjoy the view. Between 90 and 180 minutes, take in 20 to 40 grams of carbohydrates per hour. Think a fig bar, a small handful of gummies, or a banana. Over 3 hours, bump to 30 to 60 grams of carbs per hour and add sodium at roughly 300 to 600 milligrams per hour, more in heat or if you're a salty sweater. Hydrate at 0.4 to 0.8 liters per hour depending on temperature, altitude, pace, and body size. Include electrolytes in hot weather or at altitude, and avoid overhydrating. Steady sips beat chugging.
That aligns with what we see in the field. Practically, you want snacks you can eat while moving. Dates, fig bars, tortillas with nut butter, jerky for protein, salted baby potatoes, trail mix, chews or gummies, and easy fruit like bananas. Pre-portioning prevents the just one more handful trap. I like one labeled bag per hour, stashed where I can reach it without stopping. It keeps intake steady, curbs food creep, and makes it obvious if I'm falling behind on carbs or sodium. Here's a bonus for our listeners who may hike in bear country. It simplifies bear country food storage because all the scented items are already corralled.
Exactly. When you build snack bags, anchor each to about 30 grams of carbs and 300 to 400 milligrams of sodium for longer efforts. For example, 2 dates plus a small handful of pretzels, or a fig bar with salted nuts. Tortilla with powdered peanut butter and honey travels well. Jerky or tuna packets add protein without much bulk. Salted potatoes are fantastic. Toss them with olive oil and a pinch of salt. Label by hour, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon. And keep the current bag in a hip pocket. If you fall behind, nibble sooner rather than doubling up later.
Let's discuss recovery and off-trail habits now, Jeff, where body composition really shifts. Within 2 hours of finishing, aim for 20 to 40 grams of protein plus 1 to 1.2 grams of carbs per kilogram to restock glycogen. Add sodium, salt your meal, or sip an electrolyte, and drink until urine is pale. Off-trail, emphasize high-volume, lower-calorie foods, vegetables, lean proteins, beans, berries, whole grains. Keep healthy fats but measure them. Plan treats instead of winging it, and hold fiber around 25 to 35 grams on non-hike days to control your appetite.
I'd also add a micronutrient check if fatigue or cramps linger. Iron supports oxygen transport. Low ferritin saps climbs. Magnesium aids muscle function and sleep. Calcium and vitamin D guard bone health under pack load. Omega-3s may ease soreness. If you suspect gaps, consult your clinician or a dietitian and consider labs. Remember to adjust for conditions. Cold raises calorie needs, heat and altitude increase fluid and sodium. Aim to lose 0.5 to 1 pound per week. Finally, here are some important red flags to keep in mind. Dizziness, headaches, irritability, poor recovery, unusual soreness.
To make this all wallet-friendly, here are some helpful ideas. Build bulk trail mix, oats, toasted cereal, raisins, pretzels, pumpkin seeds, instead of pricey pouches. Shelf-stable protein like tuna packets or jerky travel great. Peanut butter powder trims calories. Mix with water and a drizzle of honey on tortillas. Cheap electrolyte, 500 milliliters water, a pinch of salt, lemon, and a teaspoon of sugar. Scale as needed. And as always, remember, leave no trace by minimizing packaging, rebag at home, pack out every crumb and wrapper, and in bear country use canisters or proper hangs. Cooking ahead also cuts waste and cost.
Finally, Brian, I want to remind your listeners that hydration pitfalls are common. Overhydration shows up as sloshing stomach, clear urine nonstop, headaches, or hand swelling. You want to pair fluids with sodium to avoid that. 2 simple checks to keep on top of this is to weigh before and after longer hikes. Losing more than 2% body weight suggests you underdrank. And use urine color as a guide, aiming for light straw after the hike. Remember to customize by heat, altitude, and pace. On big mileage days, prioritize fueling fully. Take the deficit on the quieter days. That approach preserves training quality, keeps your hormones happier, and ultimately improves adherence so the weekly average still trends toward your weight loss target.
Before we finish up, I would like to leave all of you with an actionable trail tip of the week. Before your next 2+ hour hike, pre-pack 1 hourly snack bag with more 30g carbs and 300 to 400 milliliters sodium, and set a 45-minute timer to eat and drink 250 milliliters when it goes off. It automates fueling, prevents the "I'll wait until the summit" mistake, and keeps hydration steady. If your appetite is low, take a few sips and 2 bites every alarm until the bag is gone. This one habit alone smooths energy, trims overeating later, and makes weight loss far more predictable without micromanaging every calorie on trail. Okay, folks, that's a wrap for Pathfinders this week. Thanks, Jeff, for being here today and giving us some great advice. We covered a smart 250-500 calorie deficit, flexing intake around TDEE, and fueling long days so performance never dips. You've got macro guardrails, a pre-hike template, hour-by-hour trail nutrition with carbs, sodium, and 0.4-0.8 L fluid, plus snack ideas and pack planning. We hit recovery targets, off-trail habits, key micronutrients, adjustments for cold, heat, and altitude. We also discussed some of the red flags that say, eat more. Thank you all for tuning in this week. If you found today's episode helpful, please share this with a trail friend, and please rate the show, and join us next week. Until next time, hike smart and enjoy the journey.